because federal health officials rejected the DEA's request to testify at the marijuana rescheduling hearing, an agency tells the judge, you guys. That's right. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, rejected a request from the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, to provide witnesses for an upcoming hearing on the Biden administration's marijuana rescheduling proposal, the drug agency says. In a pre-hearing statement submitted to DEA Administrative Law Judge John Mulrooney on Tuesday, the agency also previewed the testimony its own witnesses plan to provide, without clarifying where it stands on the proposed rule to move cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 of the Controlled Substances Act. The two witnesses DEA plans to call are both agency officials. One, Heather Ochbach, will speak to the rulemaking process that led up to the hearing, while the other, Luli Askanofsky, will provide data and studies and other information on issues such as marijuana-related seizures, emergency room visits, THC potency, and public safety risks associated with cannabis. Well, I'll say this, she definitely has a last name to provide data, that's for sure. HHS, which carried out the scientific review that led to the rescheduling proposal, declined DEA's invitation to have any of its staff show up to testify. And DEA made a request to HHS and its operating division, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, to provide witnesses to testify before the tribunal regarding the scientific and medical evaluations in the HHS 8-factor analysis that is the basis for the notice of proposed rulemaking, including the novel 2-factor test applied by HHS for determination of currently accepted medical use, the DEA said. HHS rejected the DEA's request for witnesses from HHS or its operating divisions, and it said in a quote, "In the event the DEA determines it is necessary to subpoena a witness or witnesses from HHS or its operating divisions, DEA respectfully requests to reserve the ability to add that witness in a supplemental filing." It's not clear why HHS declined to provide witnesses, and Marijuana Moment reached out to the department for comment, but a representative was not immediately available. And one of the DEA's witnesses, Askafovanoscopy, that's the second name that I mentioned, a pharmacologist with the agency's Diversion Control Division, will testify on a number of items, including how the proposed rule specifically seeks additional data upon which DEA can rely in making its determination as to whether marijuana should be rescheduled. And that's a reference to the multiple times, though, the notice of proposed rulemaking, the NPRM, that DEA declined to endorse various scientific findings to justify rescheduling, which has led some observers to conclude that the agency disagrees with the proposed reform. Well, get the hell out of here. Of course they disagree with the proposed reform. They want to keep it in Schedule 1. And Dr. Askanofsky will testify that DEA has maintained an active review of the scientific, medical, and technical literature addressing marijuana with a focus on how it relates to the 8 factors relevant to the control under the CSA. The agency said in a new filing that Dr. Askafanoki will testify regarding information within the DEA's current state of knowledge, including additional factual evidence, because we know the DEA is full of facts. And Dr. Askafanoki will also testify that she is aware that the NPRM specifically seeks additional data upon which DEA can rely in making its determination as to whether marijuana should be rescheduled. And Dr. Ashkelon will testify that her role with the DEA, she and her DOE colleagues regularly review the available scientific, medical, technical, and abuse-related information regarding controlled substances. In that role, Dr. Askovanaki will testify that DEA has accumulated and continues to accumulate data, studies, and other information regarding marijuana. And Dr. Askovanaki will testify that the DEA has maintained an active review of the scientific, medical, and technical literature addressing marijuana with a focus of how it relates to the 8 factors relevant to the control under the CSA. And Dr. Askafanoki will testify regarding information within the DEA's current state of knowledge, including the additional factual evidence noted above. Topics for Dr. Asifinoki will cover include marijuana's potential for abuse, pharmacological effects, the state of the current scientific knowledge, and history and current patterns of abuse, the significance of that abuse, public health risks, and psychic or psychological dependence liability. The government is still compiling documentation for this matter and anticipates additional exhibits. It said the government will provide an updated and accurate exhibit list in a supplemental filing at the date set by this tribunal. And the initial preliminary hearing is scheduled for December 2nd, and the merit-based proceedings were delayed until at least early 2025 after Mulrooney, the DEA ALJ, notified the agency that it provided insufficient information about the 25 selected witnesses that Administrator Annie Milligram submitted. And this goes on a little bit more, and there's a bunch of other stuff in here, but that's pretty much the majority of the story, you guys, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so without completely,
this is
completely
crazy.
Non-biased and completely accurate and complete. Yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait to see
Yeah, so without diving into complete chaos here with this conversation, because I know we're already over time, like 2 quick pulls from this crazy shit, because this is only the tip of the iceberg, I'm sure. Merrick Garland signed the shit and not Ann Milgram? Like is Merrick Garland emerging as the as Joe Biden's most
that's one of the things I think that's one of the things I think the DEA is gonna use to say that it shouldn't be rescheduled at all, because Annie Milligram never signed it at all.
I know that. Yeah, I know this. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is getting crazier by the second here. So number one, Merrick Garland is he never should have signed the shit.
No, he shouldn't have. He doesn't have the right to sign it.
Right. He has the authority, but he doesn't have the rights. He shouldn't have. So he signed the shit. Ann Milgram should have signed it, but she didn't. She may or may not be colluding with Project Sam. This is a
they're definitely colluding with Project Sam, based on our story that we covered earlier in the week that outlined all the collusion between the DEA and Project Sam and all of their sharing of messages.
Oh, come on. They deny it all. It never happened.
So between all of this and the whole Trump hubbub, which they should have got this investigation like going earlier and everything, like Merrick Garland might go down as most hated AG of all time by both sides.
He could be. He could be the Fauci of AGs.
I wouldn't say he's the Fauci of AGs, but I think it'd be interesting to see where this man's, where his alliances really lie, because he's all over the place.
Well, you don't find it interesting that he didn't have enough power or strength or pull to force Ann Milligram's hand to sign that document? Because he's technically is her boss. Just saying.
I'm just saying that, this guy, I think he's a double agent, man. Like I think he's still pissed off because of what y'all Republicans did to him when he was supposed to be the Supreme Court justice.
Thank God he did not become a Supreme Court justice. This little woke guy.
And he's just fucking. He's not. He's. I don't think he is that woke.
He's very woke.
He's just pissing off. He's more of like he's Ron DeSantis of the Justice Department. So he's just like.
Just because they're the same height, Rico.
He's got bones to pick with everybody. He's just got out there just pissing off people. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna start this investigation until next year.
Exactly.
Just in time to push it past the election, and so Trump becomes God King of America. And all the meanwhile, he's mucking up his whole thing, because if he did not sign that, we probably could have gotten to the. Into the alleged collusion between Project Sam and Milligram a lot quicker.
I'm telling you, I think we need a FOIA request. I think we need a FOIA request of the communication between the DEA and Project Sam.
Your people are running all that shit now, Jason. Why don't you push that forward?
I just may. You never know. You know what I mean? Just can't wait. As soon as Matt Gaetz is special counsel.
He's special right now. He's still on Cameo. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you.
No,
I think Matt Gaetz will pick that fight all on his own after all the shade that fucking Kevin Sabet's thrown at him. I'm sure if he has the opportunity, he will pick that fight without any.
He definitely will.
I can see I can see Merrick Garland leaving the country right after inauguration.
The question is, what country will he go to? What country will he be going to? That's the question.
Venezuela.
Mars.
He's not going to go to Mars. Elon runs that.
Oh yeah, another place for the non-melanated to colonize. Go ahead.
Stop it, bro. He's African.
Mars makes no sense. Mars makes no sense at all.
Wouldn't he go where Ellen just went and go to the UK?
Is
that where she went?
She changed her hair.
She cut her hair and moved to the UK and is never coming back to America.
Well, you know why she did that, right? Or at least my guess, my assumption.
She's staying in the cottage with Prince Andrew, right?
They got too much dirt from too many Diddy parties with her.
Exactly.
Yeah, her and Prince Andrew, they're kicking it.
She got canceled again. She just did her last comedy special ever because she got herself fucking canceled again by treating staffers poorly and shit like that. She's super canceled.
I've always heard about her being like a total bitch to all of the staff, all of her staff, like total like one of the worst persons to ever work for in life.
Well, so is J-Lo. Can we get her up out of here too?
But at least she has a big booty.
Thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of High 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays at 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the super fans for getting their comments posted live on the big screen. We had who we have today. We had Cole Memo.
The Cole Memo, yes, with the two of them today. Thank you so much, the Cole Memo. We appreciate that very much.
Big shout out to Cole Memo and all our live audience and online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in each day to the headlines of chaos, also known as the developing cannabis industry, to our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over. And there's a special Black Friday.
Yes, look at that. Look at that.
Bringing us much needed variety of perspective. We're a very diverse crowd, right? Wouldn't you say, Jason? This is DEI.
Yeah, look at that, bro.
DEI powered crew.
I bring all the sides to the yard to have a normal conversation. We can represent
United
all parties.
Colors of Cannabis.
Yes.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, all the sponsors keeping our lights on. AV Struggles to Millie and Adam behind the scenes keeping it. Read these stories every single day. It has been Friday, November 29th. Black Friday 2024 show's over. You've all been blessed with top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to smoke with your politically diverse families, at least until Monday, if you're still alive. My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News, America's #1 daily cannabis news show. We're going to pop things out to the late and hungover Jenny Beth Dills. Give us some good holiday cheer to start the season off right.